welcome to U.N.I News. I'm Helen Clark, and with me tonight is Jade Avery. And thank you for tuning in to U.N.I News. However, I'm sure you're all aware of the tragedy that's occurred today in the sleepy town of Guildford.
At least 4 people have been killed and over 50 people injured in 2 explosions in the local town of Guildford.
The first bomb exploded in the Horse and Groom, approximately according to our sources, at 8:30, destroying the building and shattering the windows of local shops.
A second bomb exploded half an hour later in the nearby Seven Stars pub.
Most of the casualties were a result of the initial bomb, which detonated without warning at the Horse and Groom. The second pub was one of many pubs in that area that was evacuated after the first bomb exploded. Police have sealed off the area in fear of further attacks. It's just shocking news for the poor city of Guildford. I just can't believe that this has happened.
Police have sealed off the area in fear of further attacks. Senior officers have said that given the severity of the explosions and choice of targets, the attacks are likely to be the work of the IRA, but no official confirmation has yet been given. We have Alex at the scene with David Howell, the former Prime Minister of Northern Ireland, with his thoughts on these horrendous attacks.
Behind me you can see some of the devastation that has been caused by this horrendous attack that happened less than an hour ago. Here's what some of the witnesses of the blast had to say about the event.
Oh, it was so frightening that I walked up there, and when I saw the blood, well, it just about turned me. Then I saw 2 on the pane the other side on stretchers. They were dead with blankets over them. And the girls were just screaming and shaking. You know, I was trying to comfort them. You know, I said the best thing to do is to get yourself off and get yourself away.
Well, I saw just fire ambulances, everything, and everybody was there. And then suddenly a big explosion, and everybody went running down, and you know, just to where it was.
And what did you do?
I just stood there, didn't know what to do.
Well, I'm afraid I thought I'd seen the last of this in Belfast, but of course I'm horrified and sickened that it should come to our own hometown here in Guildford. And it's quite clear that we must hunt down the maniacs and the animals who would do this kind of thing.
Thank you, Regina Phalange. Well, I guess the motto of that story is never feed a lion of sat in your car.
Back to the main news. 4 people have been arrested on suspicion of the Guildford pub bombings that happened on the 5th of October this year in 2 local pubs. The bombs killed 5 people, 4 of which were British servicemen. The pubs are well known for the attendance of British soldiers. Alex is waiting for us outside Surrey Police Station to update us on the suspects.
Paul Hill and Gerard Cunlin, both aged 20, Patrick Armstrong, aged 24, and Carl Richardson, aged only 17, have been arrested on suspicion of making, planting and detonating the Guildford bombs as a part of a suspected IRA campaign. Ooh!
Today, 4 suspects have been arrested for one of the most horrendous IRA attacks to happen in Britain. It has just been revealed that 2 of the 4, Jerry Cullen and Paul Hill, are originally from Belfast, although they now reside in North London. The other 2 suspects have been living in squats and have been regularly associated with drugs and petty crime. This new information begins to confirm the association with an IRA attack.
And thank you, Key, for that weather report. And hopefully he predicts the correct weather this time. And now back to the ongoing saga of the Guildford Four. So now just over a year ago since the Guildford bombings, the Guildford Four have today been finally convicted of the bombings and sentenced to the imprisonment of life they actually deserve. Alex is now over at the courts ready to update us.
I have been very lucky to receive a statement from the judge himself. He said that he is saddened that the 4 were not charged with treason, which still carries the death penalty in today's law.
Each member has been given life imprisonment sentences without the option of parole. The sentence was given on the basis of their own confessions that were given to officers during the interviews at the beginning of the trial.
with the sports, and now for some breaking news here on U.N.I News. The Guildford Four have today been released from prison after 15 years after the Guildford bombings. We have Alex live from the prison as Jerry Conlon is being released.
Avon and Somerset Police have carried out the investigation into what has been described as the biggest miscarriage of justice within the UK. They found serious flaws in the way Surrey Police noted the confessions of the 4 suspects. It was found that the confessions were not written immediately and the wording of the confessions changed.
At the time of the trial, the 4 claimed their confessions were gained unlawfully from torture and all attempted to withdraw them. However, the court still based the outcome on these confessions. Can't believe they're doing it these time of day though.
Each member also had alibis that proved they were not near the area that the bombings took place in. Carol Richardson even had photographic evidence that she was in London watching a Jack the Life gig.
And due to this torture and this unlawful way of getting this evidence, 3 of the police officers who conducted the original interviews have now been suspended pending further inquiries. It's now probably a bit of justice can be done for the Guildford Four.
As you can see here, Jerry Conlon, one of the infamous Guildford Four, has just been released after 15 years of serving wrongful sentence. They have all today had their convictions quashed by the Court of Appeal following an extensive inquiry into the original police investigation.
We've been lucky enough today to get an U.N.I exclusive interview with a close relative of Jerry Conlon, who was also convicted falsely of being a member of the Maguire 7.
The system has broken an innocent man and in their wrongdoing are doing little to put him back together. 15 years locked up knowing you are innocent is a very long time. The psychological damage that may arise from this horrendous event is hard to think about. He saw men dying there, set themselves on fire. He said to me as he walked through the prison before he came out, he'd spent months in solitary, in the dark. He'd been beaten, had people defecting his food, putting glass in his food, seen people murdered, yet had to tell his family they were treating him well. He was innocent, a man who was tortured. He now has no money and won't get any counselling like normal prisoners do. What is this world coming to? It will just be a downward spiral for him now. His life is ruined. All this was the police's fault and the gullible judge's fault. The crucial evidence providing the innocence of Gary was never shown to the judges. No one should leave prison with no preparation to cope for the outside world. It's unfair. A car just drove past him and he was terrified.